Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, it's me Cica. I will continue Ganung's explanation about cognitivism theory. The next important cognitive theory is Vygotsky's theory and Brenner's theory. The first is Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory. Who is Vygotsky? Vygotsky is a Russian psychologist who emphasized cognitivism theory based on the developmental analysis, role of language, and social relation. And then, according to Hebb, there are three claims of Vygotsky. The first claim is child's cognitive skill can be understood only when they are developmentally analyzed and interpreted. And then Vygotsky's second claim is cognitive skill are mediated by word, language, and discourse, which serve as psychological tool for facilitating and transforming mental activity. And the third claim of Vygotsky is he described knowledge is situated and collaborative. Second is Brenner's theory. Who is Brenner? Brenner is American psychology who made significant contribution to human cognitive psychology and cognitive learning theory. The concept of learning through cognitivism theory based on Brenner not only emphasized in the concept, categories, and problem solving, but also the ability to invent it. Brenner's research of cognitive development of children in 1966, he proposed three modes of representation. They are inactive, iconic, and symbolic. The first one is inactive. It happened from baby until 1 year old. In this representation, baby is trying to manipulating object. For example, baby's understanding that there is bottle is something that they suck to get milk. And then the second is iconic representation. It happened during the age of 1 until 6 years old. In this representation, children try to think the differences between two different situations separately. For example, like children imagine that there's no people in the market and there's many people in the market. The last one is symbolic representation. It happened after more than 7 years old. In this representation, emphasize the role of encoding to make explanation more clearly. For example, children is understand that math variable is typically in mathematics subject. Okay, that's all three models of representation according to Brunner. Okay, now we move to the next discussion, the educational implication of cognitive theory. Cognitive theory tries to create the people to be active to think, and the implication of this theory in educational field is try to produce the student to find the problem solving, do discovery, use cognitive strategies, and to create some project. So to find the problem solving, we can use problem-based learning. The application of this learning is try the student to find the solution of the problem. For example, when student conduct a research, it means that she or he must find the solution of the problem on her or his research that consists of identify the problem and then collect and analyze the data, and then the last is draw the conclusion. And the next is do discovery. To do a discovery, we can use discovery learning, which is proposed by Brunner. Discovery learning is an instructional method in which students are free to work in learning the environment with a little or no guidance from the teacher. It means that the teacher gives opportunity to the student to explore more about themselves. To apply this type of learning, we must pay attention for three structures. The first is readiness to learn, and then the second is analytical thinking, and then the last is motives for learning. And also, we can use cognitive strategies. Cognitive strategy is one type of learning strategy that learners use in order to make the learning more successfully. These include repetition, and then organizing new language, summarizing meaning, and guessing meaning from the context. And the last, to produce some project, we can use PBL or project-based learning. Project-based learning is a pedagogical strategy in which students produce a new product related to a topic. In this type of learning, teacher allow the students to explore the topic and create their project. Okay, now I will explain the more specific in educational implementation, which is language learning strategies according to cognitive theory. The first is Vygotsky's cognitive development theory. A major point in this theory is interaction with others in case of language. Interaction is a big tool to make the teaching and learning process more successful. So, an English teacher can use cooperative language teaching technique, which is to promote the maximum interaction among the students. They can make like group work like that. And the new method of teaching language is community language learning. And also, in English classes, the complex learning like writing and reading should be taught through guided participant, which is in terminology is Vygotsky's theory. And the teacher should share the thinking load between him or her and the student. So he or she should should not tell them all of the answer, but she or he only give a clue to the student to film discovery learning. And according to Vygotsky, cognition and language are closely intertwined because thinking and language go together. Everyone thinks in a language or in a word and don't think abstractly. So the teacher should tell the concept of thinking in English to develop the same language. The second is Yasse's cognitive development theory and language teaching. During the sensory motor stage, teacher should understand the fact that children will do all the things that she or he wants because of his or her egocentric nature. So the teacher must be wise and be patient and follow their will, but still on the line of learning and teaching. And the second is during the pre-operational stage. The teacher need to speak or write new words to boost their vocabulary. and then during the concrete operational stage. At this stage, it is the right time to the teacher to begin to teach a simple grammar. And then the formal operational stage, the child is able to use logic and abstract thinking. He or she usually will ask question on previously accepted thought, values, or ideas. So it is the time to the teacher to explain or give the reason why it is like this and why it is like that. And then he or she, the teacher can clearly give can clearly tell the student about the language complexity by give its reason. So yeah, the last is Brunner's Cognitivism Theory and Language Teaching. Based on Brunner, beside the discovery learning, teacher can use social group for language teaching, and using the material of language teaching learning is also emphasized. Yeah, he is also of the view that children is learning language step by step. Yeah, that's all. Some example of language teaching strategies based on cognitivism theory. So, but beside that, actually, the implication of cognitivism theory in language teaching can use problem-based learning, and then cognitive strategies, and then project-based learning, like I've mentioned before. But it is all depend on the teacher's creativity and students' need. Cognitivism is theory of learning that studies about the process that occurs inside the learner. So, as a teacher who want to apply this theory in his or her teaching and learning process, we must consider the strength and the weakness of this theory. So, I will talking about the strength first. The strength of this theory is make the students to be more independent and creative, because when we are apply this theory, the students not only respond and receive stimuli, but they are also process the information and thinking to be able to find the ideas and develop the knowledge. And then the weakness of this theory. It is considered difficult for the teacher to understanding the cognitive structure that exists in the mind of every student, because every student has different cognitive skill. The last but not least, I will give a conclusion about this theory. Cognitivism theory is learning theory of psychology that attempt to explain human behavior by understanding the thought process. It is emphasized on the conscious thought. This theory was born in 1950. There are 4 factors that influence the development of this theory. They are experimental psychology, and then the shift from behaviorism to cognition, and then the language equation, and then the last is computer artificial intelligence. And then in this case, this theory is divided into 3 important cognitive theory, which is emphasize their conscious thought. They are Piaget's cognitive development theory, and then Vygotsky's sociocultural theory, and the last is Brunner theory. All of the type of this theory stress on the importance of process that is happening inside the human's mind. So the application of cognitive theory can be applied through problem-based learning, and then discovery learning, and then cognitive strategy, and project-based learning. Overall, the goal of its application is to create the student to be independent, creative, and innovative. So that's all about cognitivism theory. Hope you can learn something new. I was sorry for my mistake. Thank you.